quiet for sound. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you might be in the world. I think I've finally worked out that you have to click go 6 seconds before you need to be on air. Oh, I think we've done it on time for the first time ever. It's spot on. Hello there, Johnny. Hello, MTV. Very glad Stephen's here because why would, if you're not in the UK, and why would you be? There's been quite a bit of reporting about this here little drone show that was a total crap dystopian swarm of lights and money filled with empty sky as grand finale.
Well, that's all you can expect.
So on and so forth, and there's Rudolph and the missing drones. But I should have had this bigger. Let's go back on this.
That's beautiful. That's gorgeous. That is.
Well, look, let's go back to that, for instance. I don't reckon that's too bad. It's not too bad, is it? Okay, some of them are missing. But I think they had a bit of a commentary running in the background that described exactly what people should be seeing. And
all they had to do was join the dots.
Yeah, join exactly. Yeah, get a big crayon out. A Temu Christmas light show, bungled love characters. But I mean, the reporting around it has been.
That's a nice ad.
Look, call for refunds after horrific fest.
People were horrified.
It was horrific. It was horrific. I tell you.
PTSD everywhere.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, and then of course, when these things happen, it's handy that we have one of the world's experts in such a subject.
A leading light, you might say.
A leading light. Oh, I wish I thought of that. Oh, he's too good. That's too good. Yeah, and he's going to shine a light on what happened right now.
Part of the Illuminati,
Take it away, Stephen.
Obviously, you can read more about this on SUAS News. I wrote an article on there today, and just my first thoughts on it by looking at that. I mean, there's not that much video, so it's not like there's video from every angle and you can watch the whole show. But the first thing that I noticed is that there was no drones falling out of the sky. So it didn't look like one of those things where it was dangerous or it looked really terrible because drones were flying everywhere. That wasn't happening at all. So the show itself looked really steady. Obviously, the assets were incomplete each time it was moving. So that really kind of made me think that there was a problem at launch where not all the drones launched, and there was only, I don't know, half of the drones or a third of the drones had managed to launch, which could well be a Wi-Fi problem, could be a network problem, or it could be a communication problem somewhere. Now, and you see that, if you're reading the press and people are saying that it was horrific, I think the most horrific thing that they're really talking about was the experience of the entire event and the fact that the food was really expensive and it was really muddy and cars were getting stuck and whatnot. That really led to the negativity because the show just continued, even though it was only half there, and the commentary and the sound effects and stuff were there, but it wasn't what they expected. And of course, these things do happen, and I think that is exactly what went wrong. And I really feel for the Lumia guys, because when this thing happens, and it has happened to me, not in that way, but when we had a show launch and we got jammed, so only half of the show went up, and there was nothing we could do about it, But we were in a location where no one had seen a drone show before, and even though the show looked terrible, nobody knew the difference. So it was quite. People were going, "Wow," and I'm going, "No, that's not."
So is your motto not as crap as you might think?
It's not as crap. It's not. It's only crap if you say it's crap. So if you look here, this is drone. This is DroTech. This is the type of drone that Lumina were using, and it's a French drone. So
I probably surrendered.
Or just decided to go down the pub or have a glass of
Yeah,
wine or
retreated
something
behind
like
the
that.
lines. Yeah, that'd be it.
So we don't.
Oh,
so,
look,
so, you can see, so you can see those.
all this stuff. I saw
so
those
all-
antennas then.
Yeah, so those antennas, they'll be part of the communication either for the radio or for the RTK, because you'll have RTK connection there as well. So there's be two levels of communication. And you see that all those drones, so you see how those drones are all kind of bunched up together. That means they're not synced up yet, so they're all over the place. So yeah, I really feel for the guys doing the show, because it was probably a fault just before the show started, whether the drones didn't get the files and some did, and that's why they launched, or there was something wrong with the entire system. It's hard to really say, but my heart goes out to those guys that are flying those drones, because they'll be feeling they'll be feeling hurt today, and there's not much you can do about it. And yeah, one of those things.
Well, for sure. Well, as you say, one of those things. But the bottom line is, the drones, for whatever reason, the Frenchness or not, just decided, decided not to go and didn't go. So there wasn't a safety issue. To me, that's pretty cool. If the system says
People
not
are
go,
snowflakes, when I was a kid, if we were out in a muddy field and there were half a dozen drones in the air and the food was bad, that was an adventure. It was not a bad thing.
Well, yeah, I think it did what it was supposed to do. It still looked pretty cool to me, and yeah, the rest, I completely agree, Steve. The rest of the event didn't quite live up to everyone's expectations. Then they've had it, haven't they? They've really had it. So let's have a little look through their website. French company, 24/7. Yeah, made in France. Now, what's Hot Swap 100% success rate? Can I click it? No, I can't. What is that?
Hot swap is if a drone is up in the air and it decides to come back, you can have a drone that can replace it on the ground. So let's just say that you have let's say this was a 600 show. So you might have 10 or 15% more drones that can be used if you have a couple of faults and stuff, and also hot swap. So that means that if a drone comes out of the fleet and comes back to the launch site, one drone can go up and actually replace it, so that there's no holes in the show. That's what you've seen there. There's holes in the show, and that's what we call it. So if you have a fleet of drones that go up, and if one drone doesn't go, and you can see it in the fleet, especially if you do a flag. If you do a flag, that's when you see the holes in the show, and it's really bad. So the hot swap is that one will go up when one comes down, so that it keeps, the show going, and it looks as good as it can be.
Just like illegal immigration in the UK, one comes in, one goes out.
Oh, goodness me! So tell me, does that mean so come on, go? But one can. So again, I'm sorry, dear French viewer. Well, we probably got a French viewer, but if one goes, I want to go home. Does it announce to the software, oh, I've got a bit of problem, I'm coming home, switch the light off, come home? And does the hot swapping one automatically deploy itself, or does the operator have to go, oh, I see number 74 is coming home, hit the button, replace 74?
It works both ways. So you can have a drone that can just lose the radio connection, so it can just have no connection, so therefore it will just come back. And then you can have the hot swap go automatically. So as soon as one comes down, so as soon as it doesn't, it will go up, or you can actually initiate that as well. So it just depends on the software. It just depends on the configuration. Or you can have a drone that can be up there that you can see that it can be having trouble. And then you can initiate that drone to come back, and then you can actually initiate the hot swap as well. So. But sometimes drones can come back on their own, and you have no control over it, because they don't have any connection. They'll actually lose the radio connection, so there's nothing you can do.
So when they lose the radio connection, they just RTL but
Yes.
do they RTL right through the swarm? How do they go up and around? Do they drop down
No,
and across? Or
well, usually you find that a show is never straight like this. A show is usually kind of like this, so that if one comes down, it's not going to hit anything. You know.
yeah,
So I mean, so if you have a show box in the front of the show, it's never.
it's never vertical. Okay.
It's usually vertical
Okay.
slightly, so that if any do fall, which can happen and sometimes does, that it won't hit any drones, because if you had them like this and one will come down, it would take drones with it. So
Okay, there's a lot more to this than meets the eye, isn't it?
yes, yes.
It's are we nearly at the point where it's turn up at a site, unload the box once you've done your paperwork, away you go? Is it becoming day to day, or is it still a bit of a battle to get it to work properly?
Well, it really depends on the system, and we've been using the Nova, the Sky Storage system, and we can literally go there on the day and we can unbox everything and fly without doing a rehearsal, without all we have to do is a wind test. That's all we have to do. It's very reliable. It's because the system really well, so you can take it out of the box and fly. I've done that in several shows with Nova, and of course, I mean, you're saving money by not doing a rehearsal and stuff like that. But of course, if it's a sensitive area where there's, let's say, prone to some interference and whatnot, then you want to insist in doing that. But if you're doing shows in Europe and stuff like that, it's not really a problem. So you can just turn up on the day. But other systems, I would say, have a rehearsal. I would say have a rehearsal.
Okay. This can't be how they manufacture them. I'm just watching this video thinking, my word, they're being very slow and laboriously putting all this gear together. They must be slammed together in a factory automatically, surely. Because of 500 or 600. Yeah, for twice the speed. And this landing in these, do you think those cases fold together and then become looks like 8 units and a thing?
I'm not. I couldn't comment on the Drotech. I know that with the Nova system, yes, you can just land them and you put the lids on. I know that with the Damoda system, that happens, that they'll just land back in the pods where they launch from. So Nova system
and Damoda up at didn't it do a 12,000 unit formation or something just recently? They're the ones that seem to be banging out for the records all the time.
I think Damoda are, the only negative thing is that they're Chinese and they're going to find it difficult in the next year. And that's why they've been very aggressive with their sales over the past year. I mean, they call me once a week. They WhatsApp message me, maybe 3 times a week. They're so aggressive; it's not funny, because they're really pushing. I think they're going to feel it. And they did have a show in Las Vegas a couple of months ago. There, I was really surprised. But that's going to.
So you think this whole have you seen this, Bruce? People rephrasing it as not a ban, kicking about. DJI. Do you think that's going to trickle down to the drone light, all stuff, drone light shows as well?
Yes, for sure, it will. Yeah, because there's not that many drone light show systems in the US. To be honest, I've only seen Damoda. I mean, everything else is. Is UV Fly from South Korea, Nova, Dronesos, and all the rest of it and stuff. So there's not that much. And I was very surprised to see Damoda in the US, actually. And I really had to look twice to see. But let's see. It will be interesting to see how that effect comes in.
Oh, the rehearsal went well from what I've seen. There was a good shame. That it's a pity, as you say. I think it's a mixture of the event and the light show, and I really do. But
you never know. It could, it could well have been. And I mean, this is something which I have had experience of. Is that it could be that they have actually lost power because of the generator. And because if you have a generator which is giving you power, and if that fails, which I have seen happening several times, and then you have the countdown, and you maybe have the other half, so you have power coming from somewhere else, and that is powering maybe half of the drones, and then everything's still okay. And you're going, but I've lost half. I don't have any power. I've lost this laptop. I have this laptop, but this amount of drones, and then the countdown's going on. There's nothing you can do. it's like, oh well,
Yeah. So the laptops are would be on a generator to make sure, or some sort of charging device.
In them? What are they put batteries in the laptop?
I was thinking that as well. That's where I was going.
Well, they should have a UPS system, which we always have. So we
power bank these days, isn't it? These power banks.
Yeah, in fact, I was using one of them in the UK with the Nova shows, and it was literally one of the same UPSs I was using about I think 3.5 years ago. And I was thinking, the batteries in this must be completely gone. And it didn't last more than 5 minutes, to be honest, but we didn't really need it. But but you need to have a backup there,
So what does the regulator say about that? Because that seems to me a real simple fail point.
I don't know what the regulator says, especially in the UK. I couldn't really say, but we do have, and I think there was discussions where I was saying to them that they need to replace the UPSs because this wasn't acceptable. They were only only lasting 5 minutes, but when they should give you at least 20 minutes, I think,
So if the ground control station, your laptop or whatever goes down because the battery's on flat, whatever reason, it goes down, the system goes down. If they're in the air, is that then an automatic come home to land? And if they're on the ground, don't take off?
Yeah, because it should well be, because if they lose the connection to the laptop, which if the heartbeat, they don't have the connection, so there's no communication, and they still have the GPS or they still have the GNSS or the RTK, then they should come home. But again, if you take down everything and you lose everything, you don't even have the GNSS running, then I've never done that before, but but yeah.
Well, you'd really think that would be in the manual of light shows to have an absolutely bulletproof 2 systems of power, and so you can't get it to. I'm finding this interesting. I'm asking 1,000 questions. You can't get it to flip to another. You can't have a secondary ground control station talking to it at the same time, and then that one assumes command.
No. Although we usually do work with 2 laptops. One other laptop would be maybe using, it would be the control for the GNSS and using the RTK so you can see the satellites and whatnot. We would have a spare laptop there. We always usually have two show laptops in case one gets stolen. But never right there to be used just in case it happens, because it very rarely, if not never happens, So, and that could have been what happened with the show last night. It could well have been what happened there. It could have been that they lost one of the laptops, or they just lost the power, or the ground control station went down or something. It just
Windows didn't update.
Yeah,
Windows.
Yeah.
You just know it, don't you? Some sort of pop-up malware or something.
Actually, we do tend to never have the show laptop online. It's always offline.
Could have been.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Well, that's. I assume you're pointing towards. I see your comment there, Sticky Droner, but I assume Cosmic Ray is pointing towards what happened to the Airbus.
It's not my name.
Yes.
Is that not your name?
Not my name.
I thought we changed it by default because you weren't allowed into council meetings.
My name is Bitflip.
Bitflip. Yes, that's right. If Cosmic Ray turned up at one of your council meetings, they wouldn't know what to do. And I think it sounds much, much better. And I think from here on in, you are now referred to as Cosmic Ray. Yeah, I think that's there. But yeah, so is that what Bitflip? Is that what happened?
That's what they say. Yeah, because a lot of solar activity and just that 1 in a million chance of a BitFlip, but it makes you concerned, doesn't it? I mean, with fly-by-wire, that computer's always between the pilot and the control surfaces. So if a bit got flipped on both computers at the same time, you'd have to wait for the whole damn thing to reboot and reinitialize the memory. Meanwhile, you could be like, 20,000 leagues under the sea.
Yeah. And I think because of the amount of solar, activity that is going on these days, which has really it has risen a lot, so there's a lot more, solar activity just now.
Remind me, during the last Carrington event, how many Enlighters were knocked out of the sky? During the Carrington event? Yeah. The telegraphs didn't work, I know that.
Well, see, what I would do to protect the GPS is I put a little bit of tin foil over the top of them and stop the
They don't have those computers in a radiation hardened case. They rely solely on the parity checking and the redundancy to deal with issues like bit flipping from cosmic radiation. And we know that when you get that high, there's very little protection from the atmosphere. That's why pilots and passengers are exposed to more radiation in a flight than so many X-rays or something.
Well, see, I thought they would have been in some sort of protective case because they've been subjected to, as you say, cosmic radiation, lots and lots and lots. Even the pilots have to go for regular checks because they get so much more cosmic radiation. So
this is one of the bewildering things, the things we don't know, for the same reason we don't know why they don't make the whole airplane out of the stuff that they make the black boxes out of. Because it'll be much stronger to survive the crash.
Be much more likely to survive, absolutely. And why aren't they actually black? Yes. Read the Hail Mary story to know why we're getting so many solar flares now. I don't know that Hail Mary story, so
it's a new movie. New movie.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't seen it. I don't know if it's
so. Is it Hollywood's fault then? Is that why we're getting so many solar flares?
Yeah. It's the climate changing spirit. What is it? Global warming is spirit to the sun. That's the problem.
Oh,
but it's also the same. If they say that these noculucent clouds, which you guys should probably get.
We do.
You probably get them around January time, probably. I would say, is it January? So it should be midsummer for you, or 2 weeks after, because here we get them about 2 weeks after midsummer, and they should last up until maybe towards the end of July, but they've been actually lasting longer into August, to the third week of August. And they're saying that because of pollution and whatnot, that this is probably one reason why that is going on. So they say. So,
Yeah.
So they say, indeed. So let's go back up to Sticky's comment about one of our sites. They said to done a ordnance survey drone up, 80 ops now. Well, I would expect the Ordnance Survey to be doing dozens of drone ops every day.
Ordnance Survey, is that so they count guns and things? What's an
exactly. Survey? Yes, that's right. Yes, that's exactly what it is. But they are. I would have thought they would have been quite a big outfit and going mad. So I'm not surprised. I'd be unsurprised if they hadn't. Now I've forgotten what other.
You were just going to freeze momentarily.
Yes.
He's done it.
He's very good. Nope, he's back again.
What did I do?
You froze slightly. It must have been that hailstorm.
Sure. Yeah. We could see it. It was on the horizon, but so we had a bit here, but
he's going again. Maybe they're asking him to submit his ID, prove he's over 16. It'll be
there we are. Oh, it's happening again.
Yeah.
Solar flare got me. Yeah. But it can't. It's nighttime. It can't. That's impossible. How can it get me now? It's nighttime.
Bounce off the moon.
Bounce off the moon. It's quite a nice one tonight. Yeah, I don't know how many people's operations were affected, drone-wise, RTK-wise. But yeah, that was it actually a Carrington event? Did it get
no?
No, it wasn't quite there.
And we had recently, it was a G5, I think. Yeah. It was just made G5.
Yeah, it was almost there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, I wanted to show you that the Danish, wrong one. Exactly. But I was wrong. It wasn't the, what did I just do then? What was that?
You just
okay. Yeah. Well,
it's a bit like
wrong
that.
Button.
Carry on.
Well, quite so. This lot, the Royal Netherlands, however we say that word, the military are telling us what to do if we see something, which is quite interesting. And they've got a number, and yeah, they're trying to be proactive about it. That seems to have calmed down. And I was thinking about this earlier in the week and thinking, I wonder if anyone's actually drawn up, like this Christmas time, the Christmas stars are low in the sky in the morning and things like that. Is there a correlation between UFO drone sightings at different times of years when stars and things are in certain formations? I wonder if anyone's done any work like that. I meant to task Ian to do it. Any guesses?
I suspect when the bigger planets are in the sky, there's more like Jupiter, and when there's, and especially if there's alignments, because that makes a swarm of drones.
Exactly, coming from the sea, from a ship, potentially.
Exactly, Russian submarines.
Exactly. Other submarines are available, but they don't seem to be coming from them. It's they've died down again. So that's what the calendar thing is. The whole calendar effect and the.
Do you think the Star of Bethlehem was really a drone?
Oh,
someone will come up with it on the bounty.
DJI one.
Yeah.
Now again, back round to them.
I'm sure if we ask Ian to make up a nice AI Christmas card for us,
don't encourage him.
Don't give him ideas.
But you know what he'll do? He'll actually make up a new song. It'll be like a new.
Exactly. Don't encourage him. Don't. He has made up another song.
Drone karaoke. Don't miss that.
There we go. Drone carol service.
We three drones of Oriental.
Oh, one in a taxi, one in a car. I was trying to wiggle back to people saying that the DJI ban isn't a ban; it's just FCC
Vic Morris wouldn't lie.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
He's there for us. Him and Kanji, they're there for us. They're supporting the whole drone community in the eyes of the bureaucracy.
They are.
Yeah,
but
what's their association called?
The paid for by DJI Association of North America. Yeah. What are we? Are we 20 days to go now? It's 22nd or 23rd, isn't it? It comes
something like that, just before Christmas.
Just before Christmas, and they're saying they're trying to get the latest DJI thing through, or it's been given the FCC seal of approval.
They can retrospectively withdraw that. According to the legislation,
isn't it 20th or 23rd? They want to get it done by
23rd, I think.
They've got until then to submit a security audit or something that disproves the claim that they're a security risk.
Oh no, but they've asked everyone to go and submit their, to sign a petition because this will help everything.
That only works in a democracy.
Now.
Sadly, you're right. And look how many times we've had a dig at RID, we've had a dig at. So I've forgotten all the things we've asked people to have a dig at, and it's made submit comments on things, and it's made no difference at all.
Petitions are the worst thing you can do because they're used against you invariably, because no matter how hard you try, you might get 10% of the affected people participate in a petition, and then the people you're trying to deal against turn around and say 90% of the people agree with us because only 10% have objected, and so it never works. Never fall into that trap.
I'm actually surprised they haven't even said they should, we should give thoughts and prayers. That should be
thoughts and prayers. Happy RC flies. Speaking of 3 kids, it's the 3 dudes at FAA voting for themselves. I'm not quite sure what you mean. That bet no ban happens, says Fun Pavol. Well, there is the magical get out of jail card free, which works for doesn't work if you're driving a fast boat, but does work if you're an ex-president that was dealing in drugs.
Maybe Trump will pardon them.
Exactly.
DJI,
and it'll be they'll give him a sum of money that makes it pardonable. I do think that could be a viable possibility, but of course his son is in the drone business now, so that makes it less likely, I'm afraid. A drone business that uses Chinese parts to create its drones, but that aside. Xi Jinping gave gold quad. I don't know. Yeah, I bet no ban. It's not, but that's Vic Moss's. It's not a ban. It's very weasel words. I mean, it depends. It really depends how you want to frame it. Yeah, technically, it's not a ban, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
I left
if
the
the
comment on this
FCC,
video. If it walks like a
Did
duck
you?
and quacks like a duck,
yeah,
it's a duck.
yeah, it's
Maybe it identifies as a ban.
Yeah.
well. There we are. There we are.
Maybe it's
And
analog.
it would, in fact,
non-binary.
it would be a Ray ban. We've got Cosmic Ray, and
Oh,
that would be a
yes.
Ray ban. Yeah,
I'll make
maybe
a spectacle
that's-
myself.
spectacle yourselves quite so. Yeah, so it's watch to see money talks. Yeah, it does fun Pavol. It money does talk. So and DJI got plenty of it, but they're not. The other thing I think people in America perhaps do have to remember is they don't really care if they lose that market. The rest of the world's a very big place.
Of course. What gets me about this whole situation, right, is that there are many people out there complaining about Skydeal, right? So they really complain about Skydeal, and they're really saying that, the lobbying and all the rest of it. But that's not illegal. What they've done is actually legit. They haven't done anything wrong, because it's in the Constitution. It's in the Constitution. They are allowed to lobby.
It's part of the America's best political system money can buy in America.
Yeah. So, I mean,
but lobbying's more of a moral issue, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Whether you think
That's
it
why there's
sits
no
well.
objection. There's no.
This is all
ethics.
doing business, and they're all doing business, and what people out there who are flying drones are doing business. If you don't have the ways to do business,
Well,
May the
I
biggest
seem
wallet
to
win.
recall at this time last year when it was in November, I think it was announced, wasn't it? I seem to recall us all saying, wow, that's a clever way of doing it. Nobody's going to come to the rescue of that in a year. And here we go. Maybe it could be wrong. A couple of weeks ago, but it seems very unlikely you'd wait to the day before to drop your report and say, look, we did the research and here are the results. That's a very, very big political theatre.
Mind you, Trump could be busy buying up DJI shares, ready to make the announcement. So the stock price soars. He's, not averse to a bit of dabbling, eh?
I hadn't thought of that one, and you're absolutely right. Yeah, you might very well be. It's
because they're very big. You go look at you've got the what is it, the FTSE, and then they've got DJI's got its own DJI. The whole market.
That was one of their master strokes right at the beginning, was to call themselves Dow Jones Index. That was an absolute. Look out! Oh, he's too late. We've already spoken about light shows. Too late. You're too late. We've done it.
I thought you were in Canada for a minute because we could only see the top half of your head.
Well, what's your take on it, Mark? No, now we've got 50% of the people here are drone light show providers. Well, one a manufacturer, one a provider. Nearly half.
I've given my 50 cents or 2 cents.
So we'll take your 5 bob, please.
Mm-hmm.
So what was it? Only 200 out of 600 took off or something. I'm going to say it was a network failure at some point that they couldn't resolve, because quite clearly they were delayed a while.
Were they? I didn't know that.
I believe they didn't launch on time. I'm happy to be corrected. So I suspect they had some sort of technical issue they couldn't resolve. And someone made the decision, I should think, to launch part of, or what they could in the air.
No
I'm
way.
not sure was the right
There's
answer.
no way. There's no way you are going to launch part of a show. Not a chance. Not a chance.
Maybe they considered they had it fixed and they hit the launch button and 400 of them just went.
Yeah. Of course that could be, but there's no way you're going to say, I only have 100 drones or 200 drones or whatever it is on the network. I just go for it.
Yeah.
Not a chance.
You would. You are right, Stephen. You wouldn't do that. So I think they did resolve their network issue. They thought they had it solved. They hit launch and it just went blah at the last minute on them. And then once they're in the air, it's often safer to let them just fly the show kind of thing than it is to try and recover them one by one. I suspect that was I suspect they had the technical issue. I think they got it resolved maybe, and then they just, once they were in the air and the others didn't take off, they went. I can tell you now, there were words in that GCS that you couldn't say here because it would ruin your stream. Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean? I don't understand. What the words? Have you seen video that the rest of us haven't seen?
No. But if I was there, Stephen, and you were there, I know that if I thought I had a network error fixed and I hit the launch button and 400 stayed on the ground, I can tell you, you would not want to hear the words that I would be saying.
Gosh darn it.
But the thing
is,
the thing is, once that happens, okay, I'll give you an example, and this is a true example of something that has happened to us, right? We were doing shows on the World Cup, and we were getting files, right? And there were some updates coming in, and we were getting files. And we got a file that was sent from France, and we put the show, and we put the the files into the drones, and then we launched the show. Had the countdown, and when countdown happened, it was the wrong show. it was the wrong show, right? But the thing is, the people who were watching the show, they had no clue. They had no clue, right? So I just said over the radio, guys, it's fine. Just the music won't match up or whatever it is, but it won't be kind of all in time. I says, but you can hear the crowd go, yay, great. I says, everyone shut up, just get on with it. But the thing is, the head of production, they knew, right? Yeah. And they were on the radio showing, shouting, land the drones now, land the drones now. And I had to get on the radio to shout over to the pilot and say, do not land the drones now, keep the drones in the air. And then he said, okay, can you turn them off? And I said, well, yes, we can turn them off. I said, but I don't recommend it. I said, and he says, yes, please just turn them off. So I says, okay, fine. So we turned all the lights off. So the show was going on for maybe 2 minutes, and then the lights went off. And everyone in the crowd went, oh, what? I says, and that's the mistake, because you raise attention to the problem. You see? So you just keep it going, and no one's going to know. And obviously production's going to know, and we're going to know, and we'll have a discussion and say what happened. Let's not do it again. But the crowd don't know, So that's what happened to us one night.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I can feel. I mean, I feel for that because you get the file. You don't have, and especially from a timeline, you go, right, that's the one. The show volume's in the right place. Everything's looking good. Yeah. Because you don't always know what the changes are. It's come through as the right file name. You upload it, and
it's just a file.
They don't get locked down the day before, an hour before, 2 weeks before. They don't lock. Why do they change? Why did they change them to that extent?
Sometimes we. If you've had a show that's been rushed, so if you have a client that cannot make its mind up until the very last moment, and that does happen, right?
Yeah.
And so they're not happy with maybe certain colors or so you make those changes, and then you find out that when you're doing a show, there's maybe up in the left-hand corner or somewhere in the middle, there's some drones that are working too fast or something. You find that maybe one's coming out the fleet too much. So we check the log files and you go, yeah, there's a problem there. Let's just make a slip change. So that means you have to have a new show file. So they'll make a few changes to that, make a new show file. But when they sent us that new show file, it was a completely different show that they gave us. So we had no idea, and it was their mistake, So,
but you don't put them in and have a preview mode, which is this. It'll be this picture, this picture, this picture, this picture.
And that's what I said, because at that time we were having feedback meetings with them, and I was saying, you need to have some kind of preview application so that we can double check before the show goes, because there's no way for us to verify. We get the verification from you, and that's not good enough, because on the day of the show, you have to feel confident. So they, they seen it was their fault, and of course it wasn't our fault in a sense, So, but but that is the case now, and most systems now have that. I think you've got that as well, Mark, haven't you?
Yeah, we can preview a show before we fly, so we can double check, and it also helps you make sure that you get the orientation the right way around.
Yeah.
There'd be nothing worse than flying a show the wrong way around.
Yeah,
just get everyone to run around the side.
Yeah, yes.
No, actually, you do. So we, when we're planning a show, we'll always have the complete center of the show and where and like the center, of the audience and stuff, and you'll have it there. And if you have like a, like a rehearsal, you'll have someone in the middle to make sure that they can see the show as it should be. Maybe you have to bring it around a couple of degrees left or right or something, but that, because it's never always perfect, but you want it to be as close as.
Yeah, you can actually, Blender, that's used to design a lot of the shows that we do, and does it for a lot of drone shows. What you can actually do is you can actually get the Google map and you can overlay it. So when you're building the show, you can actually see and reference location, so that you can then work out roughly where it is. But quite a few companies, and I don't know if Stevens does this, what they'll do is sometimes they'll send 4 drones up before any show is ever flown as a test, and you can then plot correctly in the sky and then land. And if you need to rejig yourself, then do that.
We call that a hull test.
Yeah,
a hull test. So and that's mainly used for actually for media. So if we're having cameras or drones in the air, and they have to know where the edge of the show box is, so that when the show comes on, they know exactly where it is. So we can have a hull test, so we can put drones up and say, that's the edge, that's the edge, that's the edge, that's the edge. So they can frame it right. So we give them that, and that's a good reference for them, so that they can have everything right, so that when the show happens, it's not a surprise in there. Did you have the gimbal moving and all the rest of it and stuff, You
can see why fireworks was so popular by comparison, just like the blue touch paper stand well clear. None of this shenanigans you guys do.
We did a show. We don't normally do shows, but we got asked by a very special person that we know to go and do a show. And we went north and did this drone show. So we went before the fireworks. So there was fireworks on site. And it's really interesting. So the drones took off from the field, and the fireworks are in the same field as us. And the fireworks people are like, look, how quick can we get out the field once we're done? What about your drones? Look, once the drones are on the ground, I don't care what you're doing firework wise. We'll just turn them off where we are. So we do the show, we land, we hit off, and all our drones just go dead. We all run out the field, and then they hit the button to launch all the fireworks. And I have to say, we have this massive safety buffer, right, for drones. The fireworks were literally landing so close to us, because we went to join the main crowd to enjoy the fireworks. Oh,
Wimp.
I think we've all been at fireworks shows that have gone a bit wrong, and the fireworks do start landing in and around the crowd. I definitely have.
Yeah, it's impressive when they explode right above your head, isn't it? I mean, seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you load up a flight for the southern hemisphere, everyone's got to stand on their heads then to make it work.
You'd have to invert the y-axis, wouldn't you? Yeah. Otherwise, they'll all just go down.
yeah, exactly.
We've done that up in Lapland. So when you're up there, we've had issues with the compass, because So we've experienced that as well, and that's something that, and sometimes we have to calibrate the drones by hand, You know,
Oh,
when you've
God.
1,000 drones because they want
Things
calibrated.
get real giddy.
Yeah, it's like you have to get right, guys. Come on.
You could hire
Everyone's
some whirling dervishes to do it.
Or just put it on those firework Catherine wheels. And
Yeah, there's two ways to calibrate. I can't do the I can't do this calibration. I can't do that version. I have to do the this version of it. Yeah, I can't do that version.
I think you've got to be non-binary to do this one.
Yeah, I have to do the. I have to do.
Yes, Your Honour.
I have to do the twiddling. I have to do the twiddling in my, but it's just the way it is. It's like everyone keys out your pocket, keys and phones. Don't take them near the drones. Go calibrate
And turn off that electromagnet.
Yes.
Well, you just thinking of like a little table with a spindle on it, but even that would have
An old PSR turntable, eh?
Yeah, just an old record player.
Gramophone.
Tune them at 78. Yeah, that's exactly.
You should do it on the gramophone, then on the wax cylinder machine, so you get the different axes. It'd be quite useful.
Yes, quite so.
It's a market
quite
here. I can see a market growing for this.
I do.
But how has everyone been? It's been a while. I do apologise.
Wow.
Just
Does anyone care?
What can we
Nobody cares
say?
about us.
No,
Usual.
no. It is usual. I've heard some interesting stories of. Well, I won't go into too much detail, but I've heard that there's been some interesting times at the Civil Aviation Authority in the UK about exactly what their rights, roles, and responsibilities are as regards state aircraft. That's all I'll say on that matter. But yeah, it's,
Jeez.
So I had an interesting one today. The CAA had a workshop on manufacturers. And sale markings.
Oh.
Well, where do I begin?
well, I'd start at the beginning if I were you.
Very conventional, Gary.
So it's interesting because the CAA is trying to push drones for sale markings now. Sale markings for SORA. What's interesting, and I keep saying this to them, and I was at an RPAS meeting last week as well, and they had the CA there. The problem they've got is it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And what I mean by that is that as a manufacturer, DJI, for example, is number one because their drones are so reliable. So a sale marking is nothing more than a self-fulfilling prophecy because designers and manufacturers don't want drones that are going to go and fall out the sky every time you fly it, because otherwise, what's the point? You'd be out of business in no time. So sale markings are almost pointless in respect to any kind of safety because like I say, we build safe stuff. DJI build safe stuff for the past, 15? No, longer than that now. How long's DJI been
Ever since
around?
the flame wheel.
Yeah, ever since the flame wheel. Even the self-builds were a little bit ropey, and of course the NASA occasionally would like to go that way, or the Wukong might decide it's going that way as well. But otherwise, building safe kit means that you're number one. Do you know what I mean? For a reason. It's self-fulfilling prophecy, this drone safety stuff. So it was quite interesting. And manufacturers...
in fact, so safe, they're going to get banned.
Yeah.
Yes. And
it's not a ban.
Sorry,
banning safety is our number one priority.
Identifies as the ban. Sorry.
So it's quite interesting because the CA is trying to get manufacturers to get to these REAFs. They're trying to create this ecosystem for them. But actually, all you've done is create red tape for a self-fulfilling prophecy that doesn't need to exist, which is from the YASA world as well. It makes no rhyme or sense, sort of, which is why manufacturers are going. And as I said to the CAA, we've got like 6, maybe 7 operators in the UK that fly our drone. What happens when it gets near April and everyone applies for their SORA? And they were like, because the other problem.
Why? What's the problem? Explain why that might be an issue for them.
So we don't have a sale marking for our drone yet. We probably will go through the process, but this is meant to be so the CAA doesn't need an operator to evidence how the drone meets certain requirements. It's meant to automatically go, oh, they just go, oh, it's got sale 2. That means that's fine. Kind of just squiggle it off. But every manufacturer that goes through the system of a SORA evidences to the CAA their drone can do X, Y, Z without a sale, and probably applies to YASA as well. The problem is at that point there, I've now proven what the drone can do. So why do all my other operators that fly our particular drone have to go and do this, get a sale 2 mark, because you've just accepted my evidence. The CAA's just accepted it meets all the requirements. Why am I doing something several times over? And they're going,
I don't think Drone Light Show drones should have sale markings. I don't think they should have sale markings. I think that if they're the working drones that have to fly over people or whatever, so your minis and your Mavics and your Matrices and any of the other bigger drones, the eVTOLs, if they go to, if they have, what is it, the marking, is it 6 or something,
Yeah, 5 and 6.
Yeah. But I don't think drone light shows, I don't think they should. It's pointless, because you're always going to be working within sale 2 and you're never going to be flying over people. You're always flying in that designated area. So your operational authorization that you've had from the beginning will always be the same. It won't change.
And you don't have to have a sale marking if a drone is under 900 grams either.
Yeah.
Just so I assume most of them are going to be under 900 grams, or is that a poor operation?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I would say so. I think except UV-Fi, those ones are heavy. Those ones are.
Unless Vergers drop their weight, they're heavy.
I doubt it.
They're like 1.5, aren't they?
But won't surely if that the way around the regulatory issues there is just make them under 900 grams.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, our lightest is 400 grams.
Yeah. To me, it should be a non-issue. I wouldn't. It's extra paperwork that you don't need to do.
Yeah, but they're out to create this ecosystem, as they admitted. So they've created a market.
Of course, only the CA in the UK would do that. No other country would do that. Even here in Europe, if you start asking, EASA about. If I were to ask what's his name, Natalia, about that, he would say, no, that's pointless, because he knows it's going to create extra stuff for them as well, and they don't have the ability to do that.
Yeah.
So who's going to be the gamekeepers of this sale situation? The CA itself, or some appointed people that you'll send your gear to be tested by?
So there's 2 companies in the UK at the minute. I did have their names knocking about, but I can tell you it's not cheap.
Of course it isn't.
Isn't it funny?
Aviation, mate.
Funny that, isn't it? Manned aviation companies in the drone world, there's going to be manned aviation pricing, I'll tell you. The CAA are like, oh, well, it's a sales point for your drone to be sale marked. And I'm just thinking, and part of me is just going.
And this is different to C marked.
Yes. So C markings is for the open category. And I did ask the question on that, actually. I says, well, hang on a minute. It creates confusion anyway, because people think, let's say you got a Matrice 4E. So you got an M4E, but you want to use it under a SORA so you can fly closer and reduce distances or whatever. No, it's got to have a sale marking then, because it's no longer flying in the open category. So therefore, it's got to change again. Like the M300 will have to have a sale marking versus C rating if it had one.
So if you've got a really big drone that only flies downwind, would that have a Spinnaker mark?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And your Steam drone would have to give way to that sale marked drone because Steam is ways to sale and all that. Yeah.
I do find it very interesting how crazy the world's kind of gone. As I pointed out in the RPAS meeting, because like the CA going, anytime anyone ever says safety to me now, I literally go 0 deaths in over 20 years. Since CAP 722 appeared, no commercial drone, while operating, has caused a fatality. And the CAA go, but it's been interesting. And yes, I admit it's been interesting. But you have a data point that's your problem. And,
but
it's
my
zero.
but, sorry, I'm being rude, and my big but, definitely, but the big but is those injuries and just about everything has been caused by operator error. So the point is safety is at operator, not at the aircraft.
I think we should
Which has just like crewed aircraft, though. I mean, they bang into each other all the time.
And I did point this out at the RPAS meeting. I was like, look, they do go wrong. You know what I mean? But 90+% errors when a drone goes wrong is human error. It's like people go, well, the GPS in it flew away. Well, no, if you twiddle the sticks, it still works. You know, just because your GPS doesn't work anymore doesn't mean that if you twiddle the sticks, the drone can't come back to you. You just got to understand twiddle the sticks kind of thing. So it's quite interesting. I mean,
don't they require like manual skills tests for getting your certifications to fly commercially? Isn't there like a pilot certification that you need to qualify to pass to show you can do that?
Yeah, there is in the UK. Yeah, so you have your A2CFC, and they do go through that where you have to fly and they have to see that you can fly and you have to control it and those ask you to do certain things and come back and stuff.
Can you turn DJI drones? Can you turn the turn the GPS mode off those?
No,
new one. How do you test for it?
You don't have to, and that's what's interesting. Yeah. But also the new RPC level 1, which is the new RPC, which is replacing the GVC. So the level 1 RPC stuff, I think you're meant to have 8 hours instructor, so 8 hours with an instructor, and then 2 hours simulation. Can be allowed for the 10 hours. I said to the CAA at the RPAS meeting, I'm sorry, you're going to make me stand with someone for 8 hours.
I want that job. I'll have that job. I'll be the stand next to people person.
Right.
Wow.
I said, could you imagine? I says, operators like me are just going to take the piss out of the instructor. No, I says, no disrespect to them. I says, you can always learn something, but honestly, if you're going to make me stand there and do these hours, I'm going to take the piss out of the instructor and out the system as I get bored really quickly. Just, you know what I mean?
It's also tough for the instructor to take that seriously if they've got someone who is very experienced, like really experienced, and they have to sit with them for 8 hours. It's like, I can't do this.
Yeah, that's what the reality of that though. 30-minute flights. If you were just going to do it end to end, let's say that's four flights a day to make 2 hours. That's 4 days, and 12 flights. No, 16 flights. It's just nonsense. And they'll charge a fortune for that. So your best bet, Mark, is to become that examiner, because you're going to earn a fortune doing that.
Well, I did, because I said to them, I says, look, I got my BMFA A and B for certain things, and I've been a club instructor. I mean,
I would definitely take someone that for skills tests. I would definitely take someone that's done the BMFA tickets over, and they come first in the queue. Because we know we can fly upside down, and we know they know how to operate a bin bag to take the bits back. So, that's the most important
crucial
skill, really. Yeah, if you don't know what the bin bag's for, then no.
Yeah, I've done that a few times.
Yeah, I think we all have. Well, that's nonsense. Look, we're just coming up onto the hour before we go. So any more? Go ahead, over.
Here in New Zealand, where our regulator has had over a decade to update its rules to improve things, they've made them worse. There's now they've broken the regulation up into the rule and in its transport document, so that the rule says just do what's in the transport document. So they can change the transport document far more easily than the rule. So it means they can change things. But what they've done, let me do a comparison for you. I will read from this new rules come into effect on the 22nd of this month. Now, the old rule says in respect to airspace, a person operating a remotely piloted aircraft must, unless operating in a danger area, avoid operating above persons, above property without consent, right? So avoid. They must avoid. It doesn't say they can't do it, but they must avoid doing it. Now, if we go to the new version that they've put in as an improvement, it says, except as provided, a person must not operate. So there's no avoiding, it's just must not. So they've toughened it. They've made it even more rigorous that you can't fly over property without permission. And I'm thinking, and that's really about the only change that they've made to these rules after 10 damn years. There's no concession. They're still regulating everything from 0 grams to 14.999 kg as being equal in risk. What the hell?
Yeah.
You can't fly in your house either without a...
They said initially they proposed that you'd have to get a Part 41 training or 141 training course before you could fly BVLOS inside a house. Then they came back and said, we have authority to regulate inside houses, but we'll be enforcing stuff on a safety basis, but was it safety-based, risk-based enforcement? Which, no, I don't believe all enforcement should be absolute, no variables. If a rule should be followed, it should be followed. And if it should be followed in some cases, not other cases, it's not a good rule.
Yeah.
Well, I would just get into curtain sales in New Zealand. I think that would be the way forward. That's the market I see.
So what would happen then, Bruce, if you was, and let's say you hired a big village hall, and you all wanted to go and fly inside, what would the rule be there then? Does that mean you're all under the regulations?
Yeah, that's right. Inside is the same as outside. There's no difference. The CAC
inside is the new outside.
Yeah, because I guess they feel they have to protect. If there was a big stadium and some closed stadium and someone was flying a drone inside, they must protect the public from that drone, and they're obliged to under the legislation to enforce the regulations everywhere. It's not a choice they've made. The government has handed that down to them, which is kind of crazy. But the title of the new transport document is Civil Aviation Operation of Unmanned Aircraft, Control Line Model Aircraft, and Free Flight Model Aircraft. So one of the first things it says is that if you're flying control line, it must not have lines longer than 30 meters. So seriously, I don't understand. Why is a 31 meter long control line illegal?
It's very long, though, isn't it? I can't remember how long they were, but they weren't that long. They weren't that far
but I mean,
away.
it's still. I mean, it's tethered. It's can only go up 31 meters. It can only, why are they regulating stuff that they don't need to regulate? No, I would say any regulator who wants to tell me how to do something must demonstrate for themselves, for me, that they know what they're doing. And you fly the bloody thing. And if you can't fly, don't tell me what to do.
Go on, Mark. No,
I was going to say something very similar to that, Bruce. It's like, you hear about the horizontal separation all the time. And I've now got to the point where I'm happy to point to anyone, be it YASA, be it RCAA, whoever. If you quote me 50 meters or certain horizontal separation, I've now got to the stage where I go, right, come and fly with me, right? Put up or shut up. Prove you can judge it. Otherwise, I am not interested in what you're kind of saying. If I'm out in the field and I'm flying and you think the drone's too close to the road or the person, come and prove horizontal separation and you can judge it in real time. I'm kind of getting to that kind of thing now because I've had enough. I've just about had enough of the horizontal BS.
Yeah, why don't our regulators have to prove that they're qualified to do it? They just get hired and told to make regulations. Where's the we have to be qualified to do things?
That speaks back to the guys wanting now to sort out sale regulations. And who are the people that are looking at who are the people that are looking at the manufacturing solutions?
Yeah.
Who are the?
But I mean, if you have, I'm sure New Zealand has got a member of JARUS. Right, I'm pretty damn sure there is, a JARUS member in New Zealand. So when it comes to these JARUS meetings and they're all talking about what each country is doing and the regulations and stuff, I mean, New Zealand must be a little bit kind of like, he must be a bit embarrassed to talk about what they're doing compared to what other countries are.
Everyone turns around and says,
has had that thing where all the countries should be talking to each other, going, "Yeah, we're doing this, and you should be doing, yeah. So let's all get in line, so we're all kind of the same." In New Zealand, they're kind of going, "Actually, we're completely opposite, and we don't give a damn."
Yeah, they call themselves slow followers. So they watch the rest of the world and they follow the regulations that work elsewhere. But then, of course, everyone turns around and says, our regulations are great. Not one death as a result of recreational multi-rated drone use. So our regulations are perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Go on, Mark.
I was going to say, it all goes back to the problem is the data set is, to do anything really well, you need to have the data. And this is the terrible thing, and also the good thing, is the data point is zero. It's bad, but it's also good. But it creates this thing where you can't quantify safety as
divide
such.
by zero error.
Yeah, you just can't do it.
Even if you just took the injuries in, let's just bring the injuries into the fold and pretend they're just as bad as all the rest. The number of flights, the sheer number, especially you drone show guys, you're doing 600, 1,000 a time. So if you divide the number, if you say injuries and then divided by the number of flights, then the rate is really small.
We know it's safe. We know that the amount of drones that if I just quickly have a look on Drone Bundle, make sure you take a look.
Oh yeah, Drone Bundle. Oh yeah, very good. I like that. Very good. Well done.
If I just quickly look on Drone Bundle at the amount of flights that we have done since we've started using Drone Bundle, which has been the 6th of August. So this is from the 6th of August to this day today, we have flown up to 198 hours we've flown, and a distance of 3,977 kilometers.
But which drones is that? The 198 hours? That's not your swarm, surely?
No. That's only our enterprise drones, so our working drones that are out flying every day. So 198.4 hours. And 3,977 kilometers is the distance that we've flown since that time. And we've not had one incident in that time.
And what's interesting is, I think it's Manned Aviation. They say, was it around 300 hours, Gary, or something, or 400 is when there tends to be a pilot's.
We start getting cocky.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's when you
confidence
start
versus experience. Yeah.
That's the danger zone. So I wonder if it'll appear, at some point. But that's
the sort of numbers we could be working out, isn't it? Well, generally, when you get to about this far, it seems people seem to be having incidents. So we could be doing ourselves a favour, but there's still 0 fatalities, and we are going to have to be using incidents rather than.
And they want to keep forcing manned aviation systems like, certifications like the SAIL number and lots of stuff on us when there's no reason to do that. Because there's another mid-air collision in Australia last week, and a person died. And then you had the helicopters that collided in Queensland. People in the manned aviation community are getting killed all the time. And because every time you point out, there's been no deaths as a result of recreational multi-rated drone flying, they say, but the risk is still there. And you say, but the chances of something happening have already proven it's been incredibly low. And then they say, but the consequence is so high, there's a high risk. And I say, no, you take a really big number and multiply it by a really, 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 really small number, and you've got low risk. It doesn't matter that the consequences are high. If it's not going to happen, it's low risk. And it's like meteorites,
But it's okay for these little scooters that are running around the cities all the time, where people are dying. They are dying, and people are getting seriously injured. And still, this is very unregulated in a way. And
home power tools, ladders, irons.
Yes,
it's all
ladders are
ladders are
closing the curtains. That's
but that's okay, because in New Zealand, I will offer a closing the curtains training course. It'll be an online course, and that'll be for before you fly your drones
Get
indoors.
a certificate.
That's exactly.
You can put it on the wall.
Curtain closing. That's right.
I'm qualified to close curtains, but only black
CAA approved. Actually, no, CAA disapproved blackout curtains for indoor drone flying. I can see the course. I
don't know what's going to happen this summer in New Zealand, because DJI have turned off the geofencing, and they haven't. DJI have turned off the geofencing. CAA has made no announcement to say be careful when you fly because your drone won't protect you. It's like they're just sailing on, blah blah blah. I'll do a video telling people, watch out, don't rely on your drone to bloody protect you from flying in the wrong place. But it's like, if you're going to do all this, you have to do this, you have to do that, you can't do this. Why don't you do some common sense stuff and just let people know when things change?
Well,
but they don't. It's not about safety. It's about ticking boxes.
But I keep thinking about this wonderful cup I've got, the Drone Run winner from NATS, National Air Traffic Service in the UK. About, I don't know, this must be 10 years ago or whatever. It must be. But at that point, they were doing silly little education pieces. So they were doing education. They were doing it. I think that's what's needed. Education would then lead to less silly incidents, and the world would be better, instead of this pseudo flipping enforcement and making up new stuff. Let's go back to these days where when CAA consulted on these new rule changes, the massively fantastic rule changes, which is basically restructuring the rules. I said, look, let's just have the Canadian rules for micro drones. The performance-based regulation. It's worked outstandingly well in Canada. You're a slow follower. They introduced it a long time ago. Just go with what you know works. No mention of it. Not interested. There's a chaps at HR Drone Racing. It's complete New Zealand contingent now. And those boys have got some new content up there, making some big VTOLs and things. So if you haven't looked at their channel, have a look at their channel. It's well worth it. Look, we've gone 11 minutes over now, which is
I'm going to give you a quick update. This coming Saturday.
Can you sing it? Sing it.
No, I'm not going to sing it. On this coming Saturday, it's Independence Day here in Finland, which means there's going to be a massive restriction zone over the city. But that means that the Finnish police are going to be flying their drones over the city, because there's all these right-wing marches going on and stuff like that. So they do the monitoring. So I'm going to go out with my remote ID. And I'm going to see the police are actually broadcasting remote ID, because they're always flying drones everywhere and they're not monitoring. So I'll keep you posted.
Do they have a exemption for, like in America they do? The police don't have to have remote ID for surveillance and purposes and things.
We will soon find out.
Oh yeah, okay.
Well,
just because you don't see remote ID doesn't mean they've got an exemption.
No. Oh, hang on, I'm not going to be able to work that out. But we do need to develop a thing where we have multiple phones in a town centre listening and get the data together. We do need to start doing that.
What we need is a Raspberry Pi, and what we need to do is get a website. We need a Raspberry Pis, and we need to go, right, guys, download this software, and we'll start sucking all that data in. And
Drone Radar 24.
Ground radar.
But for drones.
Drone aware.
Well, hang on. Let me just. What we actually all need to do, as a group of people, is we all need to start making these, because come on, hurry up. This is exactly what you are talking about. Exactly.
Oh, that's CarenNet.
That's what we'll call it. So this is using receivers and using Meshtastic to bring all the locations together into one place. But with this very project, I'm going to put it in the comments, we could indeed make CarenNet. That's what we should definitely call it.
We should call it that.
We should definitely do it. Don't
get me wrong.
We need to.
The people that came up with remote ID, I can never. Certain things cannot be forgiven for the way it was been done. Just be glad I'm not. If they're catching a bus, be glad I'm not the one stood behind them. That's for sure. Because I'm a nice person.
Karen.net has been registered by some Chinese company.
Oh,
Yeah. quick. We better think of another similar name. But you see, all that is an ESP32 with the that little Seed Studio Shao or whatever it is they call it. So it's a super simple device in the carrier board, but that would do exactly what it does. Do exactly what we want to happen. And there we are. Mesh Detect Drone Mapper. So you can do that, and there's your web page. So there we are. Someone will make some money out of that soon, I'm sure. Right. Don't add the ability to transmit. No. I mean, there wouldn't be a video on this very channel telling you exactly how to do that, Tom.
No.
And that's they wouldn't. No, we
There's
wouldn't.
not that.
We wouldn't. We'd never do. Never ever condone that sort of a thing. And I didn't, because I made them appear over Bruce's house, not my house. So that made it all right.
It's all my fault.
Yes, it's Bruce's fault. It's Bruce's fault. Yeah, Ridge is going to be a terrible imposition on people's privacy ultimately. But we are going long. That's another 2 minutes there. And as MTV says, next week, same bat time, same bat channel. And if you're old enough to remember that, you must be one of us duffers. Dear viewer, wherever you are in the world, look after yourselves this week. And we'll see you, next week, same bat time, same bat channel, 2100 Gin and Tonic. Look after yourselves. Be careful.